The ongoing battles over redistricting are turning into a nationwide headache, and Republican Representative Kevin Kiley from California wants to put an end to it. But here's where it gets controversial. His call to House Speaker Mike Johnson is not just a casual suggestion. He's urging him to pass a bill he just introduced that would stop these mid-decade redistricting fights, which have recently intensified after Texas Republicans revealed plans to redraw congressional districts in the middle of a decade. This move in Texas aims to create 5 more seats favorable to Republicans ahead of the upcoming midterm elections. To prevent the Texas plan from moving forward, over 50 lawmakers fled the state, leaving lawmakers scrambling just to hold a vote. Meanwhile, over in California, Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is pushing a plan to bypass the independent Redistricting Commission by drawing a new map himself, a strategy that critics say is designed to cut out Republican seats. The catch? Voters will need to approve it in November. Representative Kevin Kiley calls all this political chaos nuts. He told reporters, "I want Speaker Johnson to bring this bill to the House floor right after recess. We need to stop and think. Is this really the direction we want for our country? Is it good for voters? Does it improve representation?" His clear answer is no on every count. Here's a closer look at what Representative Kiley shared in a detailed discussion about these redistricting controversies. 1. Are you worried that Newsom's plan might cost you your own seat? Kiley replied that personally, he's not too worried because he won his last election comfortably, with a 46,000 vote margin. He prides himself on having broad support, not just Republicans, but also independents and Democrats. However, his real concern lies with protecting democratic principles in California. He sees Governor Newsom's attempt to bypass the state's independent redistricting commission, which voters approved to ensure fairness, as a dangerous move. This concern is shared by prominent groups like the Democrats-aligned Common Cause and the League of Women Voters of California, both of which have voiced strong opposition to Newsom's plan. 2. How do you think voters will react when faced with Newsom's proposal on the ballot? Kiley believes that if voters are given a clear, straightforward choice, they will choose to keep the independent redistricting commission intact. Just a few years ago, voters overwhelmingly agreed that politicians shouldn't be the ones drawing their own districts, he explained. This is because having politicians decide the lines where they run creates an obvious conflict of interest. But here's the catch and the frustration. There are already attempts to confuse voters by twisting the language on the ballot. This kind of political manipulation, where the meaning of a yes or no vote is obscured, only fuels deeper voter cynicism about the political system. 3. Since this started with Texas, is it fair to blame Texas Republicans alone? Kiley draws an important distinction here. He notes that the Republican members of Congress from Texas generally don't support the mid-decade redistricting effort, even though it might benefit their party in elections. The reason is practical. Such mid-cycle changes disrupt their relationships with constituents, since district boundaries shift, making it harder for representatives to maintain a consistent connection with their communities. He firmly believes that gerrymandering, where district lines are drawn to unfairly benefit one party, is problematic no matter who does it. But what's especially concerning is the timing. Since redistricting traditionally happens after each decennial census, not mid-decade. 4. What solution are you proposing to stop these disruptive redistricting plans? Kiley has introduced legislation that would ban mid-decade redistricting across all 50 states, limiting redistricting efforts solely to the period following the census, which happens once every 10 years. He is pushing Speaker Johnson to bring this bill forward immediately after the congressional recess. According to Kiley, this is a moment for lawmakers to collectively pause and consider whether this chaotic path truly serves the interests of American democracy, and the answer so far has been a clear no. Importantly, Kiley notes that his bill is gaining bipartisan support, which is rare and noteworthy, reflecting broad dissatisfaction with the current redistricting chaos. 5. Does Speaker Mike Johnson support this bill? Kiley has been very vocal, both publicly and in private meetings, urging Speaker Johnson to take a stand. He also calls on the Democratic Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, to join forces in ending the redistricting turmoil. Kiley emphasizes that leaders from both parties in Congress are reportedly unhappy with the current situation, yet the leadership needs to demonstrate real commitment to fixing it. He thinks his bill offers a practical vehicle for bipartisan cooperation, challenging both sides to say, enough is enough. In 6. What do you think about the pressure tactics used to force Texas Democrats back to their state? Kiley doesn't hold back in his assessment. He describes the entire spectacle as nuts and far from how politics or representative government is supposed to function in the U.S. His view is that these disruptions only highlight the desperate need to restore sanity and integrity to redistricting processes. He also points out that while such tactics may be particularly harmful in states like California, where voters have clearly tried to protect fairness through independent commissions, the problem is broader and corrosive wherever such political maneuvering happens. This interview has been carefully edited for clarity by Kellyanne Saxena and produced in collaboration with Micah Leo Rodriguez and Michael Scotto. Now, here's a thought-provoking question. Should redistricting be a strictly once-a-decade event, or is there room for mid-cycle adjustments in some cases? And how do you feel about politicians influencing district maps versus independent commissions? Share your thoughts. Do you agree with Representative Kiley's call for reform, or do you see things differently? The conversation is far from over.